Hello, it's Creature, and today we're going to be making a quick review at a game that I have waited 8 fucking years for, during which I have successfully gone through all the metamorphic states in between adolescence and adulthood. A game where you can be anything from a bandit, a merchant, or a king. I'm of course talking about Mountain Blade Bannerlord. But in order to sell you on this game with absolutely no monetary gain on my part, I'll be using a particular method of persuasion. So everyone dust off your psychology degrees and crack open your textbooks to the section on Aristotle's methods of persuasion. Throughout this video, I will be using the three methods of logos, pathos, and ethos in order to explain this game to you in the most psychologically appealing way possible. Firstly, I have played the old games a good bit, about 300 hours in Warband alone a good bit, and after you buy, download, and play the game, if you have played the older games, you will feel right at home. For the untrained eye, it may look like some complicated strategy game that Steam has just randomly recommended for you, and you could not be more wrong. Story. Okay, it's Mountain Blade and there's not much of a story. The Empire of Calradia broke apart a few years before you and your brother got there. Quick aside, whenever you and your brother got there, bandits came by, killed your parents, and kidnapped your two younger siblings, but that's besides the point. There's now a bunch of factions fighting over the remains, and the story is what you do in the world and how you do it. In this game, you transition between a map mode where you move your army around the map, going from different settlements, picking up new recruits, going to towns, getting some odd jobs, and running down bandits. While you are in the settlement or combat, you are transitioned into the third person view where you can fight alongside your armies, command them, or tell Aunt Leon to charge into battle headfirst with no armor and die horribly. When you win, you capture a few of the survivors, get some gold, and get some loot. But remember, retreating enemies are only useful for target practice. And that is essentially how you start off making money in the very first parts of the game. However, things soon ramp up whenever you start going to towns, where you can then ransom your prisoners, take quests from nobles to get sheep, find a village that sells sheep, buy some, turn a profit, and then go to the next town, kill some more bandits, take some more prisoners, ransom them, take another quest, deliver more sheep, find out that everybody needs sheep, but nobody knows where the sheep dealer is, so then buy up all the sheep on the map, start a sheep monopoly, go to the arena, and bet a bunch of money on yourself via your sheep profits in an attempt to get 1900 back in total and a special item, get your shit kicked in, lose 1200 gold, retaliate by burning down a nearby village, realize that the village has twice as many men than you do, keep hopping to different villages because you need some way to get payback for losing 1200 gold, realize that all the other villages are much more well equipped than your tiny warband is, and then slowly get more and more frustrated due to the fact that you have no outlet for your catharsis. Bannerlord, fun for the whole family. Now, personally, I have not gotten too far into the game due to a bug that forced me to be unable to join any factions, so my game was somewhat soft lock. So, here's me kind of explaining how that happened. I was given a job to go to the local village and escort some poachers who were raiding the forest of the nearby village. However, I had to get there before daybreak, and when I took the quest, daybreak was an hour away and the village was 3 hours away. So I lost the quest and I didn't notice. Once I had gotten to the village though, I thought take hostile action was the right tab. It wasn't. I accidentally began raiding the village and went to war with a faction, and then soft-locked myself by going to war with a clan that doesn't exist, and that essentially kept me from joining any other faction. There's also a crazy amount of skills, and each one of these kind of helps you determine how your character is played. There are 18 skills in total, and I'm going to go through every single one of them very quickly. You got one-handed, which is how quickly you swing a sword, two-handed, which is how quickly you swing a two-handed sword, and then polearms, which is how quickly you swing a stick. Then you have bows if you want to be Legolas, crossbows if you want to be Legolas but crappier, and then throwing if you just don't want to kill anything. Then there's riding, which is how quickly you ride your horse, athletics, which is how quickly you run whenever your horse dies, and then smithing, which is a good money sink. Then you have scouting, which is how quickly you can see the enemy coming at you, tactics, which is how well you can defend the enemy coming at you, and then roguery, which is burning villages and generally being a menace to society. Then you have charm, which is useless. Then you have leadership, which allows you to command more troops, trade, which allows you to get more money, stewardship, which allows you to produce more things in your villages, medicine, which allows you to patch up your characters after they get stabbed, and then engineering, which allows you to build stuff and break stuff much more efficiently. You can use these skills to accomplish whatever task you want to do. Do you want to be a criminal mob boss? Then go into roguery. Do you want to become a warlord who starts taking over sweeps of the map? You're going to want the combat skills as well as stewardship. Do you want to start a caravan and start trading goods across the entirety of the empire? You're going to need merchant for that. All these skills are kind of geared towards whatever you want to do. You decide what your skills are. And that's where I'm going to kind of stop talking about what you can do, because you can do whatever you want to do. That's kind of the main thing about this game, is it's geared for the player to be able to do whatever they want to do without the game really interfering or hard railing you into one thing or another. Bannerlord. It's a good game, and it's currently in version 1.0.4, and it's constantly getting updates to help iron out the bugs. And it's more than just an extremely open-ended game, it's also, technologically speaking, a triumph. Sure, you may start off with small skirmishes here and there, but once you get established and you have an army of hundreds of troops with their own individual AI, fighting hundreds of other troops with their own individual AI, it's amazing once you think about it. The maximum amount of individual units with their own AI on screen is 1,000. That's a lot of individual pieces doing their own individual thing, and none of it is being simulated. It's rendering right in front of you in real time, and you can interact with it and it will respond to what you do or tell it to do. It's nothing short of amazing. In the end, I have to say, I have to give this game the number of times Atleon will die over the amount of javelins in this man's chest. It's a good game. You should definitely get it. There's also multiplayer, which is a huge part of this game. I mean, the community alone is always talking about stuff. It's always active. There's groups. Modding community is crazy as well. I mean, in the older versions of the game, there were full-on mods you can download that simulated the entirety of Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings. It's great. I mean, and in the current version, you can have servers where hundreds of people play together in different scenarios, whether it be just an open field skirmish, attack and defend of a castle. It's a really, really, really good game, and I cannot recommend it enough. And I will admit I am a little bit of bias, but like I said, the amount of times Atleon will die over the amount of javelins in this man. So that's all I have to say. See you on the next one.